Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. Well, not a reaction video. Welcome back to another tier making video. We got all 32 teams in NFL. I'm gonna be ranking them today based off of like Super Bowl odds and like where the teams are now. I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as possible. So let's go ahead and jump into this. First up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars. They started off good last season, but then like they just plummeted downhill. I think it was after the Bengals game where they really started to struggle. But they did a good job with putting more talent around Trevor Lawrence. They lost Calvin Ridley, but then they added Gabe Davis, who's a solid receiver, and then they drafted Brian Thomas Jr. I'm gonna rank the Jaguars. I'm gonna rank the Jaguars a B right now. Just some based off where they are now, because they can be a playoff team, possibly even a Super Bowl contender in the next few seasons. Next up, we got the Miami Dolphins. We know how good Tyreek Hill is, Jalen Waddle. Tua's got to cut down on the turnovers. If he does that, I think he's definitely going to be an elite QB in the league. Roll Tide, of course, you feel me? But they added OBJ in the offseason. They drafted Chop Robinson in the first round. I feel like they can definitely be in a contender to be, you know what I'm saying, Super Bowl contender or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in the A tier. The Detroit Lions. Now, they did make the NFC Championship game last year. Dan Campbell really cost them that game. Him and Josh Reynolds, you know what I'm saying, dropping a whole bunch of passes and shit like that. Jared Goff played out of his mind last year, and so did Amon-Ra St. Brown. They did great with adding more pieces. They traded up for Terrion Arnold in the first round of the draft this year. I'm gonna rank the Lions. I feel like the Lions, like, they deserve to be. I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna rank them A tier. I'm gonna rank them A tier for right now. The Saints. Shit. What do I even fucking start with them? The Derek Carr contract is horrendous. They're in cap hell right now. The only good part about their team right now, I think, is what Chris Olave. They drafted Kool-Aid McKinstry as well in the draft this year. I'm trying to think what other else is a great spot on their team, because then they cut Michael Thomas this year. I'm gonna put them at D tier. Next up we got the Atlanta Falcons. Now this one right here is gonna take a lot, because the Kirk Cousins contract they gave him 4 year, $180 million. But then why the fuck would they draft Michael Penix in the first round? He's already 24 years old. I just really don't understand that one. But I feel like the Falcons could definitely win that division this year. You know what I'm saying, the division is still technically up for grabs because of all the teams not being the best, but the Bucks are definitely the favorites to win it. The Falcons added a lot of key pieces like Darnell Mooney. They added Rondale Moore as well. You know, I feel like they could definitely be a contender in the NFC South. But for right now, I'm gonna put them at D tier, right with the Saints, who are also in the same division. The Chiefs, I mean, they just won the Super Bowl, so of course they're gonna be S tier. The Texans, I mean, clap it up for DeMeco Ryans and that front office for what they've been able to do, and just the span of 1 year with the Texans. Texans coming off of a 3-win season prior to last season, and then making the playoffs, the divisional round. What they've done with C.J. Stroud, Tank Dell, they traded for Stephon Diggs. They last year trading up for Will Anderson. Like, they've been able to do a whole bunch of phenomenal stuff. Trading for Joe Mixon, they signed Danielle Hunter. Like, bro, the Texans are definitely gonna be a problem this year. So I'm gonna rank them at A tier. Chicago Bears, they're trending up in the right direction. Trading Justin Fields to the Steelers. They traded for Keenan Allen, drafting Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze to round out their big three. Probably the scariest receiver trio in the league right now, I will have to say. So the Bears, just based off of that, okay, cause they're coming off of, what, a 7-10 season last year. I don't want to put them at like B tier right now, because we haven't really seen all of them play. So I'm gonna put them at C tier for right now, because I think they're better than the Saints and the Falcons, but I don't think they're quite better than the Jaguars right now. So I'm gonna put them right there. The Panthers F tier. I don't care. I don't care about all the moves they made with trading for Deontay Johnson and Xavier Legette. Bro, they still have a lot of holes in their team, bro, especially along the offensive line. So we got the Giants here. Daniel Jones has got to step up. I feel like this is definitely a make or break year for him. They drafted Malik Neighbors, giving him a true #1 receiver. But I feel like that's pretty much the only like pieces they added, right? Because I haven't heard anything else. Because they lost Saquon. I mean, I'm gonna put them at F tier, bro, for right now. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers coming off a torn ACL. You wanna know how good he's gonna be? Is he gonna still look like the former 3-time MVP, or is he just gonna, you know what I'm saying, suck? They added Mike Williams. They, you know what I'm saying, they already got Garrett Wilson. They drafted Malachi Corley. You know, they got some good pieces. The defense is one of the best defenses in the league. I'm gonna rank the Jets. I'm gonna rank them a B. I'm ranking them a B right now. Pittsburgh Steelers up next. They had a good draft. You know, they signed Russell Wilson. They traded for Justin Fields. They added a lot of key pieces on the offensive line. They drafted Roman Wilson. As much as I hate Pittsburgh and I despise them as a Baltimore Ravens fan, I mean, like, they're gonna find a way to be over 500 this year, bro. So let's just rank them at B tier. Dallas, I don't know what the hell is gonna happen with them, because they got a lot of pending contracts coming up. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Zach Martin, Dak Prescott's contract is coming up. And then they lost Tony Pollard. They did sign Zeke, but I mean, what else is Zeke gonna do, bro? Like, he played horrible last time he was in Dallas, and he played horrible last year. I don't understand why they didn't just draft a running back, bro. Braylon Allen was right there, bro. He was right there for them to take, and now he's on the Jets. So I don't know what the hell is going on with them. Do I think they're still a good team? I don't know, bro. Because CeeDee Lamb, he can't just keep carrying that receiving core. Brandon Cooks is solid, but they need a true wide receiver too. Because Brandon Cooks is more of a slot guy. Well, CeeDee Lamb also plays in the slot, but I feel like Brandon Cooks is more successful in the slot than on the outside. CeeDee Lamb can line up in both, but I feel like Dallas. This is gonna be a tough one for me. Their defense is still looks pretty good though. And they lost Leighton Vander Esch to retirement. They added Eric Kendricks. They lost Gilmore as well, but Diggs is coming back from injury as well, with Deron Bland being a nice little tandem with those two. I'm gonna rank them at C tier because of where they are now with all the cap situations and shit like that, with people they have to pay and the people that they lost in the off season. But we got the Cincinnati Bengals up next. If Joe Burrow can stay healthy, I feel like they're definitely gonna be a contender. You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrow owns Patrick Mahomes, so I don't think I'm gonna put any other team in S tier, because the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying, they just won back-to-back Super Bowls. So I don't think I'm gonna put any other team in the S tier. So Cincinnati, I still feel like they're one of the best teams in the league, and they're in our division, so you know. But I'm gonna put them at A tier. But I don't know what's gonna happen with T. Higgins, so we'll find out. The Niners, they went to the Super Bowl last year. They got still a great trio right now at receiver, but we don't know if Debo or Ayuk is gonna be there long term. Debo might get traded, Ayuk might get traded, you know what I'm saying? So we don't know what's gonna happen with them. But for right now, just because they made the Super Bowl last year, I'm gonna rank them at A tier. Buffalo Bills, I mean, they are just in hell right now. Bro, I just saw that they signed Chase Claypool. They are trying everything in the book, bro. This is Chase Claypool's last chance to be a good wide receiver in the NFL. He's got all the potential. He's just he's so immature, bro. Like that has been his problem, maturity issues. That's what got him traded from Pittsburgh to Chicago, and then that's what got him traded from Chicago to Miami. and like it's been downhill for there from Chase Claypool. But for Buffalo, they lost a lot of key pieces. They traded Diggs. They had to cut Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Cyril Neal. Is that how you say his name? Um, what else? What else? I mean, I think that's it. They lost Gabe Davis as well. The receiving core is not looking like the best right now, but they drafted Keon Coleman. They signed Curtis Samuel to a 3-year deal. Khalil Shakir is very underrated. He popped off last year for them in the playoffs. Well, I would rank them right now. I mean, I feel like their Super Bowl window is so close to slamming shut. It really is. Because every time they get in the playoffs, they can't get past Kansas City. Like, they've been beaten 3 times by Kansas City in the last 4 years in the playoffs. So I'm gonna rank them. I'm gonna rank them in C tier. Washington Commanders drafted Jane Daniels, of course. They drafted Johnny Newton from Illinois. They got Terry McLaurin. They got Jahan Dotson. They added a lot of great key pieces on defense as well. With they brought in Dan Quinn, obviously, with the head coach. They signed Tyler Biadasz. They signed Bobby Wagner, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler. I feel like they're definitely gonna be a contender. And I feel like they're right up there with Dallas, but they're gonna end up passing Dallas if Dallas can't fucking get their shit straight. So I'm gonna put the Commanders in C tier for right now. Cardinals up next. Kyler Murray. We already know how good Kyler Murray is when he's healthy. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. But I feel like that receiving core is still horrible because they lost Rondale Moore. They lost Hollywood Brown to the Chiefs, bro. I just feel like they're nowhere near ready to be a contender just yet, especially in the same division where the Rams are up and coming. The Niners are always good. Who else is in their division? I'm trying to think. Oh, the Seahawks as well are a good team. So, I just don't know what the hell is gonna happen with them. So for right now, I'm gonna put them at D tier. Because they did make the good of giving Marvin Harrison Jr. But they gave Kyler Murray a true number 1 receiver now, who can definitely give defenses problems. But let's go on to the Titans now. The Titans made a lot of key pieces. They made a lot of good acquisitions in free agency. They signed Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard as well. That receiving core is looking really good right now, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. D-Hop and Calvin Ridley, and then you got Treylon Burks, who can, if he can take the next step up, they're gonna be just fine. What else? They traded for L'Jarius Sneed, and then they drafted J.C. Latham as well to protect Will Levis. And Will Levis, he played phenomenal last year. I think he's gonna take a step up as well with the talent that they put around him. So for right now, the Titans are going to be a C tier. I still feel like they're not better than the Jaguars or the Texans. You know what I'm saying? But they're right in the thick of things. Now we got the Chargers. Now the Chargers, they lost a whole bunch. Eckler wasn't really coming off of a great season, but he still was a valuable piece to that offense. But they did signed J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards from Baltimore, from my Baltimore Ravens, you feel me? Keenan Allen, they lost. They traded him to Chicago. They lost Mike Williams to the Jets. They did draft Joe Alt. They did sign Jim Harbaugh as their new head coach now. What else did they do? They drafted Brandon Rice, Lad McConkey. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody as well that they just signed as well. Can't put my finger on it, but the Chargers, they're gonna have a lot to do though, because with the whole new regime coming in and now them being probably a more focused rushing attack, I don't know how valuable Justin Herbert is going to be for them now with passing the ball, because they're probably not going to throw the ball as much. Because hey, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins are, when healthy, probably one of the better running back tandems in the league. So for the Chargers, I'm going to put them, because we don't know what's going to happen with them. I feel like they're better than the Saints, the Falcons, and the Cardinals. I'm going to put them at C tier. Vikings now. They drafted JJ McCarthy in the first round, but he's probably not going to start this year. It's probably going to be Sam Darnold. They still got Justin Jefferson. If they gotta sign him coming up. They gotta re-sign him. Jordan Addison they lost Neil Hunter, but they also drafted Dallas Turner. They signed Jonathan Grenard, so that's gonna be a good edge rush duo right there. Cornerback position, I don't even know, bro, what the hell is going on with that, because I don't even know who's their starting corner. I think, is it Byron Murphy who's their starting corner for them. The Vikings, what would I put them at? I'm gonna put them at C tier. I'm gonna put them at C tier, because you know what I'm saying. I don't think they're like right neck and neck with the Chicago Bears right now. But let's go ahead and do the Colts next. They're looking really good. They're looking extremely good right now. AR coming back from injury. They just re-signed Michael Pittman Jr. They who else they got? They drafted Adonai Mitchell. They got Josh Downs from last year. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty good for them. And they also got Alec Pierce. So that's a nice like 4 receiving core right there for them. I feel like AR is gonna have a lot of fun with those weapons. So I'm gonna place them. I'm gonna place them at C tier. I'm placing them at C tier. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks. They traded for Sam Howell. Maybe he's gonna compete with Geno Smith for the starting job. They got one of the best receiver trios in the league with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, JSN. Kenneth Walker is one of the best running backs in the league. What else? They drafted Byron Murphy in the first round. They got a nice little cornerback duo with Tariq Woolen and Devon Witherspoon. Woolen did struggle at times last year, but I still feel like he still can be one of the better corners in the league, especially with that speed and his height as well. So the Seahawks, where would I put them at? If I'm being totally honest, bro, I feel like they're in a better spot to win than all of these teams. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. So I'm gonna put them at B tier, because they're in the same division, obviously, with the Niners and the Rams. I still feel like their window is slowly starting to open just a little bit. They still got to figure out some pieces on defense, but I still feel like they can be really good. So the Patriots, I mean, I'm not even gonna waste any time with this one. They drafted Drake May, obviously, but is Drake May gonna start, or is he gonna be Jacoby Brissett that's gonna start? Gonna make Drake May sit behind Brissett for 1 year. They drafted Jalen Polk. They drafted Javon Baker. Some good weapons for Drake May in the future. I'm not gonna put them at F tier because they did help out the team a little bit. I'm gonna put them at D tier. They're not a contender yet. They're far from being a contender, but I still feel like they're trending in the right direction, with possibly getting their franchise guy. The Las Vegas Raiders, they made Antonio Pierce their head coach. They got Devontae Adams. Do they still got Hunter Renfrow? I'm not even sure. They drafted Brock Bowers with their first round pick. I feel like the Falcons really fucked them up with that one, because they might have been drafting Michael Penix to be their number 1 QB, but they got Gardner Minshew, they got Aiden O'Connell, so they're probably going to be battling out in camp and practice and shit like that to see who's going to get the starting job. They lost Josh Jacobs. They lost some key pieces, bro. They lost some key pieces, but with Antonio Pierce was able to do with that team last year, though, especially on the defensive side. The defense played out of their minds, bro. Especially what they were been able to do to Kansas City in that second game of the season. I feel like the Raiders could be in contention to be a playoff team. I'm gonna rank them. Do I think that they could be better than the Cardinals, though? It's the thing. I'm gonna have faith in them. I'm gonna have faith in them. Put them in C tier. Baltimore, what I'm saying, the two-time MVP Lamar Jackson leading the squad. We did lose OBJ, but he wasn't really a big factor for us last year. Zay Flowers, you know what I'm saying, he was great for us, over 800 yards receiving. Bateman, we re-signed as well. I feel like if he can stay healthy, he can be one of the better receivers in the league. He's got great route running. You know what I'm saying, great separation and stuff like that. He's got to work on his catching sometimes. We signed Nelson Aguilar to a 1-year deal. We drafted Tez Walker. We drafted Nate Wiggins on defense, bro. Strap City all day to go along with Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stevens, Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams. You know what I'm saying? We lost Mike McDonald to the Seahawks, but I believe Zach Orr is gonna definitely turn this defense up. We lost PQ's bitch ass, but Trent Simpson is gonna be way better than Patrick Queen. I do not highly doubt that at all. But we made the AFC Championship last year. You know what I'm saying? Came up short to Kansas City, obviously, but I feel like our Super Bowl window is still open. So I'm gonna rank us at A tier. And we also signed Derrick Henry as well. Can't forget about that. To go on with Justice Hill. Keith Mitchell's still recovering from the torn ACL. So I feel like we definitely can win the Super Bowl this year. Green Bay Packers, they lost to the Niners in the NFC Championship game. They played great. I did not expect them to make it that far last year. What they did to Dallas in the wild card round was absolutely insane. Jordan Love played a lot like Aaron Rodgers, especially with those off-platform throws. One of the youngest rosters in the league with, I'm saying that receiving core is looking pretty good with Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, and the tight ends with Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. They did lose Aaron Jones, but they did gain Josh Jacobs in the process as well. I feel like they draft a running back too. I feel like they did. I feel like they did it, but I'm just blanking on it right now. But they've got a great roster. You know I'm saying, the secondary, they worked on that. They brought in Xavier McKinney. You know how good Jair Alexander is. I feel like they could definitely need a little bit more help in the secondary a little bit. Especially as safety. And then they could use probably another linebacker, because I believe they lost Devondre Campbell. But for the Packers, I'm gonna rank them a B tier. I feel like they've got a lot of potential to especially win that division this year. I would not be surprised if they win the division or the Bears win the division. The Lions are definitely the front runners because, I know what I'm saying, they won it last year. But I would not be surprised if any one of those teams won it. Now we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucks, you know what I'm saying, lost to the Lions in the divisional, but they got a great roster though. They got a great roster, especially on offense. They resigned Baker Mayfield. They resigned Mike Evans. You know what I'm saying? Chris Godwin's a great receiver. They drafted Jalen McMillan. Now they got a great trio. Rachaad White is a solid running back as well. They replaced Ryan Jensen in the draft. They did lose Carlton Davis to Detroit. But hey man, I feel like the Bucks can still definitely make it back to the playoffs this year. Do I put them at B tier? I wish I had an in between, bro. But I feel like I'm gonna put them at B tier. I'm putting them at B tier because they showed a lot last year, especially what they did to Philly in the playoffs. Unbelievable. Now we got the Eagles. Their season ended not how we expected at all. Them getting blown out by the Bucks, but they did add a lot of key pieces to their team. In the first round of the draft, they drafted Quinyon Mitchell. They drafted Cooper DeJean in the second round. I don't know how the NFL let that shit happen. They drafted Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who's the son of former Eagle linebacker Jeremiah Trotter. They drafted Will Shipley, who can be a great 1-2 punch with Saquon Barkley, who they signed earlier in the free agency. They re-signed AJ Brown to a 3-year, $96 million contract. They drafted Anaya Smith, who will probably primarily be a return guy for them, but he can definitely so they could probably have him on like jet sweeps and shit like that. Probably line him up in the slot. They also drafted 6'7" receiver out of Florida State, Johnny Wilson. He's very raw, but I feel like he can definitely be their third receiver to go along with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. But yeah, man, they did a great job with the pieces that they did lose. But I feel like their secondary just got even more better, bro. I feel like James Bradbury is gonna fall down the depth chart with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean coming in, because James Bradbury really struggled last year. But with Big Play Slay being probably a mentor to Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, I feel like they can have one of the better secondaries in the league. I still feel like the Eagles have a chance to, be great, even though Dallas won the division last year. I feel like they're probably better than Dallas right now roster-wise. So I'm going to put them at B tier. Not at A tier because they got fucked up by the Bucks in the playoffs. So Cleveland Browns, they're still in cap hell as well with the Deshaun Watson contract, but they did add some pieces with trading for Jerry Jeudy. I'm saying they added some offensive line help. I don't know what other needs that they added. I haven't really been keeping up with the Browns like that, but they made the playoffs last year, but then ended up getting absolutely destroyed by the Texans. Cleveland, for right now, I'm gonna put them at C tier. Now we got the Rams. Hey, props to the Rams, bro. They drafted well, and they hit on a lot of picks last year, with especially Puka Nacua over 1,500 yards, breaking all the rookie records. They drafted Kobe Turner. They drafted Byron Young last year as well, and they made the playoffs. They did lose to the Lions in the wild card round, but they still put up a good fight. And then this year, they drafted Jared Verse in the first round. They paired up Braden Fisk with him again from Florida State. They drafted Blake Corum, who's going to be a great 1-2 punch with Kyron Williams. I feel like they had a great draft. They drafted Cameron Kinchens, who I thought was one of the better safeties in this draft class. I don't know how he fell that far for them, but the Rams, I feel like, are a good team and one of the younger teams as well. And then they also I'm thinking of the Jets, who also drafted Jordan Travis. But I feel like the Rams are they can definitely win that division this year though. I feel like they could, if everybody stays healthy. They got a great defense now. They got great pieces on offense. I'm gonna rank the Rams. I'm gonna rank them at B tier. The Denver Broncos, they cut Russell Wilson. They're still paying him too. Is what's crazy about this. He's not even on the team. They drafted Bo Nix with the first round. They got a crazy QB room with him, Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and Ben DiNucci. Bo Nix is probably most likely going to get the starting job. They drafted his college teammate from Oregon, Troy Franklin. I can't remember any other moves that they made. Obviously, Cortland Sutton is a good receiver for them. They got Marvin Mims, who could possibly play in the slot. They got probably a underrated receiver trio with those three: Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton, and Marvin Mims. They still got a lot of pieces to work out, but for right now, just based off of where they're sitting at with the cap space shit, and them still paying Russell Wilson, I'm gonna put them at D tier, bro. But hey, that's gonna be my NFL team ranking list. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think. I try not to be biased, obviously, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Though if you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on my post notifications to get notified whenever I drop another banger video. We're on the road to 200 subs. Help me get there for more banger NFL content like this. But without further ado, I'm out. Gang!